never wastes time. There's a version of you who never fails. It is waiting for you. Genuinely ask yourself a question. You at home. If you had done those things for the last 2 years, you never skipped a training. You never wasted time. You never scrolled TikTok. You never sat aimlessly on the internet typing garbage, never played video games. You never wasted time. You never skipped training. You were training every single day. You never slept in. You were never lazy. There's this version of you. Imagine the person you would be. Genuinely imagine what you would look like. Imagine where you would live. Imagine the car you would drive. Imagine how much your woman would respect you. Imagine the love you would see in her eyes when she looks at you with adoration like a king. Imagine your existence. That person is waiting for you. And the only thing that's stopping you from being that person is your monumental laziness. You can have it. The universe is very giving. It will give you anything you work for. I've never seen somebody try for something with all their might and not get
Profit, baby, profit.
things they want. Other people do not try for them. I've never seen a person wake up and say, "My only dedication in life is to solve a Rubik's cube and fail." You are not stupid. You are not incompetent. You are lazy and arrogant. It's extremely important you understand that that person is waiting for you and you are declining that version of yourself. In the multiverse, in the many different versions of the universe that exist, there is a version of you that does those exact things. And he is a greater person than you can even fathom. You can transform yourself into that guy. You can be a top G. That's exactly what I did. I knew who I was going to have to end up being before I became that person. My brother and I are not from rich families. We were not from advantaged beginnings, but I knew I had to be a big, strong, fighting billionaire. That's what I knew I had to be. Discipline is the key to success. If you cannot force yourself to do something you don't want to do, how are you ever going to put yourself through the suffering required for greatness? If you cannot force yourself to train when you do not want to train, if you cannot force yourself to work when you don't want to work, if you can't force yourself to not log into Pornhub or force yourself to eat right, how can you possibly ever become a monumentally successful person if you cannot control yourself long enough to do what must be done as opposed to what you feel like doing? The only people who get to live their lives based on how they feel are women and children. Children can cry because they feel like crying, as can a woman. A woman can start an argument because she feels like arguing, as can a child. A man must do what he is supposed to do, irregardless of how he feels. That is the key component to masculinity: is discipline. If you do not have the discipline to dedicate yourself to anything, you are going to fail and be crushed by the people who can. If you only go to the gym when you feel like going to the gym, you're never going to be as strong as the people who go to the gym when they don't feel like going to the gym. That's the reality of life. So I train every single day. I've actually heard from some people saying, "You overtrain." And I explain to them, one, I don't believe in rest. I'm not you. I'm not pussy and I'm not broke like you are, Mr. Fitness Trainer, standing around the gym teaching people $50 an hour. I don't need to listen to you. Secondly, I don't train because I want to get bigger. I train every day because it is difficult to train every day. It hurts. I don't want to. I wake up and I'm busy. I have other things to do. I don't feel like doing it. So I force myself to do it 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so that I know I'm the kind of person who can do what he doesn't want to do when it needs to be done. I am that man. And it's more of a mental exercise than a physical exercise at this point. How can you ever outcompete me if I can force myself to do the things I don't want to do and you cannot? Discipline is absolutely essential for success. You need to get very comfortable and very used to the idea of understanding that on your path to greatness, there are going to be long periods of time where you hate what you are doing, where you are dissatisfied with the actions you must undertake, where you are tired, where you are stressed. That is why it is difficult. That is why most people won't make it. If the path was easy, everybody would walk it and it would lead nowhere. 100 people start the path, 99 fall off because it is difficult, and the one person who makes it to the end gets the gold. If all 100 made it to the end and the gold was divided by 100, it wouldn't even be worth anything. The difficulty gives it value. The fact that it is difficult to do is the key component into the fact you want it in the first place. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have it and you wouldn't want it because no one would respect it. It's supposed to be hard. Life is supposed to be hard. You're supposed to think this is terrible. You're supposed to suffer and smile
Through the fucking pain. You're supposed to. You're supposed to do that shit. Guys, like, do you understand that this is not a fucking joke? That men, us men, are fucking alpha males. We are fucking wolves. We are fucking lions. We are kings in this world only if you respect yourself enough to be a fucking king. If you, it starts with you. Okay, I was just telling my fucking wife this. Like, Like it literally starts with us. These people that think that, you know, they're in this other world. Like you gotta fucking want it. You have to want it. Nobody's gonna fucking save you. Nobody. All right, y'all. Enough of that bullshit. But I want to get straight into this, man, because man, I was so fucking hyped during work, and like I've been smoking all day. Sometimes it does, you know, get me, you know, on the little downside where I'm like to, you know, I like to relax because I work out all day and my muscles. It does definitely relax my muscles, yeah. Like just being in the military, carrying bullshit ass things, all this heavy ass weight for no reason, and then now doing what I'm doing, you know, it's just definitely just working out and then keeping my body in shape, having to do all that. But I want to let y'all know we're in profit right now, guys. We're in profit and we're about to hit TP with the $19 account. We're about to flip this to $100, guys. I didn't get on this call to, you know, show profits. I got on this call to essentially show you guys what I was looking at before anything fucking happened. I was marking it up during work and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna send this to the chat before it fucking happens. And it happened. And it happened so quick, so fast, literally in 30, an hour and a half. In an hour and a half, this happened. Okay, guys? Put my stop loss and profit. Not one book. I already knew I was gonna message the chat like, "Hey, yo, this 15 minutes about to take off." Like, and I was trying to put an extra fucking lot when it did that little dip to I think it probably went under Edgar's. Look at that, it's about to hit TP. TP hit, baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go. TP smash, baby. TP smashing right now. You already know how we're doing this shit, bro. We're not playing no more. I'm about to take 50 pips. I wanted to hit 100. I'm gonna take 50 for myself. I'm cool. I'm cool with that. So essentially, how did I find this? How did I find this trade? CJ, what the fuck were you even looking at? Because I was on my phone. I didn't have my laptop. I have two desks right here. And when I'm working, I'm working. I'm like, I'm locked in. I have to be. And in this sense, I was able to look from left to right, something one of my old mentors, Sean Agatosin, shout out to that guy, bro, for real. Taught me a lot of things just in the market, being by myself, because that's when I was trading just by my, I have no team, nobody. I just wanted to be by myself. Okay. And I learned a lot from that individual. He ended up leaving the company that we were in, but now that I've took all the sauce, all the you know, the mentorship and still being a student, even from my brother Joe, taking that opportunity to, you know, bring him into this business, this trading industry, and then him teaching me what we're learning now and what we're teaching to you guys, which is TSQ, trend structure quarter levels. Okay, guys. And again, how did I find this trade? Left to right. Look at this, guys. It was easy to locate. Not only that, I called to sell this morning. I said, "Yo, great areas to buy are going to be these areas right here." This was a buy. How do I know that? This is the same incident that me and Joe were talking about. He was like, "Yo, that last fucking dip, this dip right here when it did this one, this was that dip where right here we talked about last Sunday and it just fucking boom took off. This was a dip. This is the same thing right here. Same fucking scenario right here. I bet you it's going to take off again. I don't doubt this. We're getting ready for war, guys. All this fake propaganda shit. I think, like, you know, they're trying to make it seem like we're not going to war. We're about to fucking go to war. I want you guys to understand that. And the only reason I know that for a fact is because I have a family member who works on marine vessel ships for the Navy, and he's telling us like, yo, yeah, yeah, like by 2027, some shit's gonna go down. And that's what I've been predicting. I've been predicting 2027. And the only reason I say that is because that's going to be the last year for Trump. That's going to be because then he's going to have one more year in office. And essentially, to keep a president in office longer, you know, quote unquote, the king, um, you got to go into war. You got to start another world war. And I think essentially that's what could potentially that's what could happen. That's what could potentially happen. Okay. I'm not trying to scare you guys, but I want you guys to understand and educate yourself, you know, like Evan Cabral teaches this shit, you know, you got to go with the news. And right now we're going with the news. People love gold. People, this is a precious metal. This is everything, I would say, even back then, during the Egyptian times, all that crazy stuff. When Jesus was alive, gold and silver, that's all they used. What'd they do? They gave away Jesus's location for some silver, bro. Wasn't even worth nothing back then. Gave away Jesus' location for some. That's not, yeah, I gotta see Isaac laughing right there. That's my boy right there. What's up, brother?
It's funny because it's true.
It's not funny. It's very sad, but like at the end of the day, yes, it's true. Like that's what happened. And these are precious metals. And what I'm getting to is, again, we got to be just focused on these charts, man. Like quarter levels, if you're following what Joe's teaching, there's no doubt that you're going to lose. Like the only reason I caught this trade was because of what we're teaching. Left to right, look at this trend. We're already in uptrend. Okay, you could have seen this downtrend 4 hour chart. Let's see. Let's do what we do. Let's do what we do. Trend. If you guys seen this right now, what would you say the trend is right now? Personal. What would you say the trend is?
Uh,
Up, up. Now, in this moment, these first 4 hour candles, you don't know what the fuck is going on. This candle right here, when it broke our quarter level, the 4,800 level right here, when it did all this crazy shit right here, when it did this down and then it did this on this candle, it retested again that same area, the 4775 area, which I said were great buy areas, great retest. I said that in the fucking chat. If you guys are not paying attention to the fucking chat, that's your fault. That is not our fault. You guys need to lock the fuck in. And
All
this
right,
is
so
being recorded. So this is
look
being
right there at
recorded.
the 4 hour. We got tweezers and a rejection candle on the 4 hours. So, like I explained to Edgar last week, that little fake out, if it would have continued down there and closed down there red, now we have to consider TSQ for the sale.
Yeah.
Not the one that just happened this morning,
No, no,
right
no,
there
no.
at the low.
I was just trying
All
to
right.
see if it did it
Well,
again last time. But yeah, I'm
all
looking.
right. Right there, there's the rejection candle up. It closed up. Once we got the rejection candle up, you could have been looking for entries above, and that's why I sent out the trade saying if structure forms above 800, we're going in for buys, or you could take buys. That was my confirmation to give you guys confirmation without me being on the chart because I was playing the game. I wasn't trading, but I knew if it went back above 800, then it potentially was going to start flying and passing quarter levels because what happened today was manipulation or just a sell off because President Trump made a whole bunch of announcements and whatnot. But long story short, that's a rejection on the 4 hour, and that lets you know that trend is still bullish. It rejected that zone. When you go down to the 30 minute, go ahead, check the 30 minute.
Got you. Yep.
When you go down to the 30 minute, you see the rejection candles. You see where it's wicking up. You see, and now go down to the 15 minute.
This is how I was able to catch that trend right here. This is how I was able to catch the trade.
15 minute at 75, you see nothing dip below there, and now you start questioning, okay, do we have a strong enough support? Is this gonna play out? Now, once it gets to your quarter level, now you're justified because the fact that it didn't tank below the 75, you know it's not a sale. You know you need to discard TSQ to the downside and start considering TSQ back to bullish. It is
Mhm.
a tricky area, but when it kept the 75 zone, you now know you could take your entry at 800 and feel justified and confirmed, and you risk accordingly. 50 to 100 pips, depending on how you're trading or whatever. It wouldn't matter because when it took off, it didn't go back 500, I mean, 50 pips, right? So it wouldn't have mattered, but that's how you're getting taught on how to enter these trades. Not only that, um, what time frame did you have this on when you started the call?
15 minute. Oh no, 30 minutes.
15 minutes?
Sorry. No, 30
Huh?
minute. 30 minute. 30 minute.
Go to 30 minute again.
Got you.
So now that we discovered the trend on the 4 hour and we understand that it's not bearish anymore because it rejected, now the 30 minute, the way you said you look to the left, can you mark out a purple zone for the last resistance right there? For where the support becomes a ceiling? It's right there at
Right here.
yeah, but can you do a rectangle box and not your lines?
Gotcha.
because they need to understand zones as well. Yes, and pull it down lower to the bottom of that red candle
Gotcha. Gotcha.
from
Gotcha.
the left. Look left,
Right there.
all the way to
Mhm.
the quarter level.
Gotcha.
Exactly. That zone. Now pull it to the right. Exactly. So we have trend on the 4 hour. We have
Sheesh.
confirmation that the 4 hour flipped and rejected and closed, right? So it didn't close low and still look like a sale. It closed strong. And that's why people were already speculating buys. But then we have structure. So, like CJ said, we look to the left, to the right, and that's the main zone I see. And at what quarter level is that? That's at 25 and already up 100 pips. CJ just said he was in profit when he started the call. That lets you know again. Look at that zone you're at. You risk 50 to 100 pips at your quarter level, and you would have smacked 50 like CJ did at the start of the call, or you smack 100, or you hold it to the next quarter level. You take
Same.
trend, structure, and your quarter level, and you're justified in an entry. Now, what's the fourth step, Joe? What's the fourth step, CJ? The fourth step is to not be trading every session and think that every session is gonna look the same. Can it happen? Yes. But what you guys got to start realizing is that the most volume comes in New York. So if you want to see this happen or a rejection, you want to be up on New York and catching the volume. If you're in the middle of the day, Asian, then you might get stuck in a trade. And what does that do? It starts messing with your emotions and your mentality because now you're looking at a trade for hours and now you start to question judgment. Now you start to get lazy with your practices and your discipline. If you're going in right now in the middle of the night, how CJ just did, you're going to get some London volume. This is the second greatest time to pursue a trade because a lot of times what happens in London is continuations, which we just seen. At our quarter level, we've seen a continuation. Usually London continues up. Whatever move was created in Asian. Today it was the manipulation to the downside, and London's just been carrying up. Okay, this is continuation. New York, we could see rejection or continuation. Okay, so you have trend, structure, quarter level, and you have a session. Next, you have your practices, you have your trading plan. You should be taking a 50 to 100 pip risk per trade. What does that mean? That could be multiple positions. If you're using $100 account and you're trading $10, that means you could take two $50 entries or you could take one $10 entry. Or when you get above, if you want to take a scalp right there and you only risk 10 pips, hey, it would have never hit stop loss at the quarter level. Once it got above it on that next on that breakout candle, it would have never went below. But that's where you have to start determining what's going to be your factors to get in and out. Look at where it broke 4800. Can you go down to the 5 minute,
Yep. Gotcha.
please? 5 minute
Um,
and then take me down to 4800
right here.
because I sent this to the chat. I said if it forms structure above 4800 and look what did it do?
When
I
did you
don't know
send
if
that
you
to the
guys
chat?
I don't
Oh,
huh?
yeah, because that's exactly what I sent. I think. Well, I was supposed to send that, but
No,
that's
you were supposed to, but I did
yeah.
send it.
No, no,
Go
that's
look.
awesome. No, no, that's fucking fire, bro. It's
That's what
fire.
I said at the beginning of the call, but you didn't see my text in your chat.
Shit.
You're good. But I said I sent to the chat. When you said you wanted to, I sent it to the chat. I think Edgar might have seen it. Maybe Tar might have seen it.
Oh yeah,
Long
right
story short,
there.
long story short though, what's my rule of thumb? 30 pips. 30 pips is the structure for me that I want to see formed above. Not only is 30 pips the structure I want to see minimum, but I like to see 30 minutes when I put my trade to break even. So that means if you're getting in the trade before 4800, once it goes 4803, you put break even and then whatever, you walk away. That's how I trade sometimes. Sometimes you got to keep your stop loss open to go hit a TP. It is what it is, but that's if you get to active trade, then you're fortunate. If you don't get to active trade right now, then you guys need to leave your stop loss open so that way you could go get that reward that makes it worth your risk. You need to go get that full quarter level, full 150 pips because you can't afford to always close your trade to break even because you're at the job. But guess what? If you catch an entry, you risk 100 pips. Check your phone in 2 hours, hour, whatever's reasonable, makes sense to take a bathroom break. And I promise you, you're gonna be hitting TPs and be able to close out.
No doubt.
But long story short, guys, we saw trend was bullish. We know trend has been buys this whole last 90 days, whole last 6 months. We know the structure was there because we know how to look left from right. And if you don't know how to look left from right, you're also able to use your quarter levels. It becomes that easy. Not only that, I told you guys to buy at 4,800. Trend, structure, quarter level. That's all it takes, guys. Is there other things going on, indicators, EMAs, and all these other things that we take advantage of? Yes, but at the sole basic level of this shit, you do not need it. And that's how I built it because at the time I still had a job when I built this little setup. I still had a job and I didn't have the indicators. I didn't have the time to do everything else everyone else was doing. But the idea is this is a 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute strategy. This isn't, it can happen at any one of those time frames, but you need 4 hour to show you where price is going. Now, does that mean you like me in the morning where I caught the lowest swing back up? Does that mean you can't catch that based off of TSQ? No, that doesn't mean that. But you got to understand if you catch the falling knives at a bottom at a quarter level at 47.75, if you caught that the way I did, then you got to understand. All I told myself is, fuck, gold dropped 1,000 pips. 1,000 pips. I said this quarter level better smack, and I threw my nuts on it. Because how is gold gonna
Yeah,
drop more than 1,000 pips, guys?
yeah,
And
that's
it can
fucking crazy.
happen, but I told CJ this morning that's never happened to me and CJ before. We've seen 700 pips.
Yeah.
We've seen,
It
I think, 900 pips. I think
yeah.
it fell.
That's what I was gonna say. 900 pips had happened where that was the first time it's ever happened where we seen it. That was, I think, I forgot when it happened. I think it was when it had first touched 40, 47, or almost touched 4,500. Almost. And
Huh?
then it fucking just did that big old tank, got everybody out, consolidated around 42, 43, and then
Hmm.
it took off again.
Yeah, but me and CJ have only seen that a couple times in our experience. So when it happened, yeah, I was buying down there because I said, fuck, this shit dropped that much. It better come back up.
Yeah.
And it did. And guess what though? I was prepared when I got in it. I was like, dang, watch me get in. And it goes 2,000 pips. Watch it go back to 2,400 a day on some dumb shit, like thousands and thousands of pips. Right? But that's it, guys. It's trend, structure, quarter levels. The stuff CJ's talking about. CJ has more experience in the trading world. He's seen the cycles with the economy. He's been to war. He has a different experience. But that's something that you guys got to realize is that stuff is affecting gold right now and it's making it a hot commodity. So that's why we're only speculating buys. We're not looking for sales right now.
No.
Can they come? Would today have been a great morning to take sales? Yes.
Yeah.
It would have been fire.
That would have been hard to predict though, you guys, because we've been on an uptrend this whole
Yeah.
fucking time and it's been just
Almost
shooting.
impossible to predict.
Yeah. So now we know. Now we know that gold has calmed down. It's in that mode where now we could start finding these moves, start finding and using TSQ and
But
to the
we still
best
got
ability.
Donald Trump, so we don't know that yet. It could go into a frenzy.
Yeah, we could see tomorrow. I think he spoke this morning. He speaks again tomorrow?
So
This
I don't
morning?
know, but keep your stop losses on, y'all.
I don't think he speaks, but
I think on the 26th.
let's see here. Oh, that's next week then.
Yeah, because if you
Y'all
check
just gotta
trading,
worry
if you
about
check
if I
trading view,
Oh, the FOM. Oh, federal rates drop. The first federal rates drop next week, bro. For the whole year, I think. Oh no, they already did that first one actually in the beginning of the year. My fault, I'm tripping. That's where that's where what's his name? Jerome Powell came out. I was like, yo,
Hey CJ, that's it for me though. But when you upload this, can you title it trend structure quarter level
trend
breakdown?
structure sort of copy that. Got you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
All right, y'all. Well, I appreciate y'all for joining the call, man. If you guys have questions, reach out, man. I get hyped about this stuff because it's not easy, but it's so easy because we're showing y'all our mistakes before you guys make them, so you guys don't make them at all. That's what we're trying to prevent. All right, proper preparation prevents poor performance. All right, y'all. Much love to you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on and end it.
Regardless, discipline is the key to success in all realms as a man. And if you lack it, you stand no chance. You can give most people a roadmap to success. You can give them a Ferrari with a full tank of gas, and a lot of people still wouldn't make the destination because they would say the drive is too far away. Quitters, they don't have the discipline. You can tell them exactly how to do it. You can give them the mechanism to get there, but they don't have the discipline to complete the drive and end up at the destination. That is the majority of Earth. This